Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another War of the Visions video, and today we're going to take a look at the new Vision card dropping in Global tomorrow, what that does for the wind element, as well as some other Vision cards you can pair that with on your mono wind teams to really power up wind. It's a super good Vision card, and I'm going to kind of explain to you why, especially in the current state of the game, it's so good. We're also going to take a look at the Master Ability 2s dropping in Global tomorrow, and our, I think it's our final EX job, Vadim, we're going to look at that as well. Now, before we go look at the Vision card on WoTV Calc, I want to remind everybody that it is also going to include 2 global upgrades. One of them, Gilgamesh and Whisper getting max HP up, does not matter at all, just kind of disregard that. The other one is for Sadali. He will get healing power up, but most importantly, magic up. This is a big upgrade for a Vision card that's already super good, even if you're not running it on Sadali, but if you have him, he's going to be strong. This Vision card is going to be great on him. So let's go look at it now and kind of tell you what I'm talking about, right? So here's the card at the end of the road. 304 HP, a lot of magic at 170, and 3 agility on this card. This card is a speed demon for wind, giving 3 agility there and more agility in the group buff. Now, unit effect, let's look at that first. You're going to get AoE resistance, spirit penetration, and a little bit of a decrease in your crit. You're going to get 10 AoE resistance as well as 20 spirit pen. So the unit wearing this that's a mage is going to be tankier and do more damage even with a little bit of a minus crit. Super good unit effect and works really well with the party effect from this card. You're going to get 20 AoE resistance for your whole group. And right now in War of the Visions, when you're talking about in-game PvE or in-game PvP, AoE resistance and single target resistance are 2 things that you can just count on for making your teams tankier. Wind picking up a card with 20 AoE resist on it is huge, and it also gives agility. It's such a great combo of things. 15% agility for your group, plus 20% AoE resistance is insane. And then critical evasion 10, while not that great, might just help you live if you can dodge one of those like big crits that are coming along. So this card is very powerful. Again, especially powerful on Sadali, but it's something any of your like magic scaling wind units can run. Now, if you wanted to run it with a couple other wind Vision cards as kind of a good like duo, I'm going to mention a couple here. You have a Tower of Promise. This is Tifa's Vision card. This card gives 20 single target resistance to your whole group. So if you have Sadali's new card plus this card, you are essentially just cutting the damage your group receives by 20%. Just say, hey, whether you're hitting one target or you're hitting multiple targets, we are going to take 20% less damage. That's super powerful, and not only in PvP. In those really high-end PvE fights, those nightmare level missions, a great way to not just get blown off that map is just make everybody on your team tankier by stacking the single target and AoE resistance. So I think Tifa's card right here is going to be a very good card to combo with this if you have a unit in your group that can take advantage of the buffs that you get from this card. Like say you're running Sadali Tifa or something like that. There you go. And the new test subjects also kind of does the same thing. It gives single target resist as well, although it only gives 12, so it's a little bit less. But if this is a card you've invested in because maybe you're like the 3 Lucia players out there, this card will work well with Sadali's card. I like it. And then I also wanted to mention downtime. This card will work really well in combination with Sadali's card if you're specifically going for an anti-AoE build. You give Sadali's card to like him, and maybe you put this card on like Joom or something like that. It would give Joom another 10% AoE resistance, and it would give your whole group HP up and slash resistance up. This would be a very powerful combination of cards to again just make your whole win team a lot harder to kill. If you're running like a 5-man PvE team, I think you could run downtime mixed with a Tower of Promise mixed with at the end of the road, and you're going to be set. Now, if you don't have something like a Tower of Promise, a Vision card like Odin, which gives you rainbow single target resist, is also a good option. So look at what you've got for your single target resist cards if you're looking to pair something with Sadali's new card. I think this is a big deal for wind, and I'm very excited this Wednesday. I'll do it on stream to give Sadali his new Vision card some test runs. Now, we're going to talk about Master Ability 2s next, and I'm going to start with the one that I think is the best. Kitone is getting her Master Ability 2. She is an original to the game unit, been with us forever, and her master ability was Evasion 15. And that's pretty dang good on an evasion unit already. However, it was lacking the Earth buff. She will now get the HP 10, Earth Attack 15 for her Earth friends. That's huge, especially since Kitone likes to use Drain Force. That's just more HP for, more Drain Forces. It's all good. The 15 evasion stays the same. She will get AP consumption down 20, which is really nice. And then the biggest one, she just has courage. Like, she's gonna walk into a fight, no buff needed, nothing. She just has courage walking into the fight. This is a very, very good master ability to upgrade for an old unit, and I think it makes Kitone very playable again, even in PvP. If you want to run her like on an Earth team, mix her with some UR Zazon, do some evasion shenanigans, she now has access to courage like he does, so she'll be hard to kill even if the team you're running has 100% hit moves. Very nice. I love that master ability to upgrade. It's the best of the ones we're getting today. Now, one that I don't think is as good, but I think is still really nice, is King Mont. They're really going in on his tankiness with this master ability upgrade. He already had the HP and fire attack buff, and he also has 15 AoE resistance, so it's a super good master ability for him already. All of that stays the same. He's just now also gaining 10% more HP and 10% resist for every element. Mont, already a very good tank, is literally just getting tankier. He didn't need a lot of love. He already works very well in the modern game. He just now a little bit better. If you're going for some of those modern, like, elemental resist builds, he will be 10% better at that now, and he's already an insanely good AoE resistance unit. I mean, his TMR alone gives a 25 AoE resist buff if you want to run that. He's got 15 more himself. Just that is what? 40 AoE resistance. You start mixing in some vision cards, this dude can really neuter, or really be strong at eating up AoE attacks. So a pretty good master ability too for him. Now, a unit that literally no one in the game plays, not even Kason, the lightning god of global, Mary Luke. And if Kason, if you're watching this, that is absolutely a challenge. Make a Mary Luke video and I will react to it, I swear. Like, let's just see. So her master ability was really good before. Critical damage 40 and agility 10%. The problem is Mary Luke just doesn't have the, like, kit or stats to really back that up. Like, Monk Knight Green Mage sucks. That's a really bad combo. So anyway, she's getting an HP buff for her lightning allies in her group and a sleep resistant buff for lightning allies. So it's kind of that MR version of that group buff. The crit damage and agility stay the same. She's also getting 20 critical hit rate up and 20% HP. Like, as master abilities go, this one is insanely OP. I just don't know that it makes Mary Luke, like, usable. That's it. If this was on any other unit in the game, it's godlike, but it's Mary Luke, so it is what it is. I don't know. I hope somebody can prove me wrong right there. Okay, then we have Little Leela, the original Dark Little Leela here. She's okay. Like, Dark Little Leela at cost 40 is already kind of usable in some super cost limited situations. Her master ability of Light Killer 25 and Magic 20 was really good for an SR unit, especially again if you're fighting light. She is now also just gaining 20 single target resistance, so not a huge buff to her power, but as an SR unit, that's nice. And again, this is another unit with a TMR that I think a lot of people are sleeping on. Pretty Hood right here, Pretty Hood, if with the JP translation, has 5 defense on it and then 10% dark resistance. So if you're building a TMR with some Trust Stones and you're specifically building for anti-dark, don't forget about Little Leela's Trustmaster right here, and as an SR unit, you'll have no problem getting it if you've played the game for any amount of time. Now, Vadim. Vadim is getting his EX job, so let's go take a look at what SR unit skills are getting upgraded right here. First of all, Thief Lore, aka Knowledge of the Thief. This is a very good support ability. It's the move 1 and agility 12% thief support ability. He will also now have -3 hate. So if you're trying to run Vadim, again in some like cost limited situation, well, he at least now won't get blown up unless he gets caught in an AoE or something like that. Now, one thing Vadim can do is charm. He's a charming unit, and his charm is the other thing that gets EX upgraded right here. Steal Your Heart, which is the 50% chance to charm, gets upgraded, and it looks like on paper here it doesn't actually get a buff, but it does. What actually gets changed on this is the range height goes from 1 to 2. And here's the deal. If you're only running this guy to go, you have like everything else turned off and you're like, we're going to go in there and we're going to charm some people, Vadim. Range Height 2 is a nice upgrade there because a lot of our maps, and like the newest limited map for Guild Wars that we're playing, the library map, has Range Height 2 all over the place. Those bookshelves are range height more than 1. So Range Height 2 is a nice buff if you're trying to run him as like a charm bot. So it is what it is. They leaned into his niche, at least. I'll give them that. And then he does get Slipple Spin. This is a small AoE based around himself with a 25% chance to inflict sleep for 3 turns. So again, just leaning into his abilities to inflict status effects on the enemy. And if you're talking about SR units, you're not running them for their like raw power. So I'll give the developers credit here for making Vadim's niche better. Good job. We take that. Now, we do have a bonus account review coming in today as well, so let's go ahead and jump there next. And today's bonus account review comes to us from Sight. So Sight, thank you so much for supporting my channel, supporting what I do here. We've got a banger of an account to review today. And your one question, your like one concern that you really wanted me to focus on was trust stones. And you provided a lot of screenshots of those. So we're going to kind of quickly go over the rest of the account. I'll mention just a couple things there, kind of show it off, review it. Then we'll really try to focus in on trust stones. So here you see the page, rank 166, home screen unit, Little Ela the Bold, running all over this game right now. Got 30,000 Visior in the bank and can write in Japanese. Absolutely OP. When we look at masteries, 4 plat masteries, 4 gold masteries, pretty close to, I think that's what I have right now as well, so right up there with me on leveling units. If we look at fire, this would be your weakest of your elements right now, and you're not alone there. Fire has lagged behind in this game for a really long time. I don't think it's as bad as it has been in the past, but if you ever were wanting to work on fire, Setia is insanely strong and mixes well with like Terra, King Mont, Classy, Glassy, and those folks. So there's some fire units you could work on if you wanted to. Your ice is looking really, really strong, and you've got level 99 Agrius ready to EX, I imagine. You definitely have the DPS units and like quasi support units here ready to, you know, work with your 120 Agrius, or if 120 Snow is what you were going for, your ice is ready for there, so not going to spend a bunch of time there. Your wind, you have the like high end of wind ready to go. It looks like the units you chose not to really go for were Oldoa and Corwell. I feel you there, but you have June, by far the most important wind unit, mixed with like anything else you want. Now, you sent me these screenshots on Sadali's release day. I don't know if you pulled for Sadali, but if you did, you definitely have a wind account where you could plug him in and get some run out of him. Earth, you have the most important 2 Earth units in Noctis and Oberon ready to go, mixed with like a very nice, collection of other units. Pumpkin Spice Frederica and Winter Venera are getting up there. You even got Eileen to level 99. That's better than a lot of people do. I can respect that. Okay. For Lightning, you have a lot of what makes Lightning powerful. I would say the obvious missing thing here is Esther. She will come back around occasionally if you wanted to pick her up, or you could just really look to get Lightning when FF13 drops. Both are top tier attackers, and since PvP teams are really only 3-man teams, Charlotte Cloud Lightning could probably do the job of like Charlotte Cloud Esther. We'll have to see exactly how that works when she drops, but that's what I'd probably look for with my Lightning. If I was you, would be Esther or Lightning. Gosh, that's going to be, speaking of naming a character, the element that they are in a game, I know she was made for, it's just going to be a pain when that comes out. Okay, for water, the big missing thing for water is obviously going to be Astrius. Now, we will start getting Warrior of the Crystal rerun banners eventually with pity systems on them. So if you ever did want to go get Astrius, or we do start getting those like friendlier banners as we maybe move into like, our second round of Warrior of the Crystal sometime, Astrius will come back, and he's definitely a strong enough unit to be worth picking up. Otherwise, you can already do so much with this water team. Celis, Farm, Rachez, Laura Croft, Aerith, Summer, Elsie, Titus, all really strong. You could do PvE, you could do PvP. Your water's looking real good. For light, you have the evasion duo of Locke and Elena, mixed with a ton of other light power, including Lucio, the free-to-play god. Both tanks, Violet and Rob, are getting up there. Yeah, you're light. You're good. You're set on light. And then dark, yeah, you're good to go here as well. You have the Little Ela the Bold at 120, the Joker at 120. If you were like, I think, oh, wait, let me go back to ice for a second here. Did I miss something? Yeah, do you have Velis? Where is he? Okay, wait, you don't. Okay, so Velis would be the other thing that I would pick up, because Velis unlocks, in my opinion, more than other characters, these like super OP duo teams. Little Lilo the Bold, Joker, Velis, I think is really strong. Alternatively, you do have Lemure at level 99. I don't know what your Mind Sphere situation looks like, but Lemure, Joker, Little Lila, also a top-end PvP team right now. It just wrecks. That team just destroys. I know Lemure doesn't do damage. Little Lila and Joker kill the whole map at the same time. Vision cards. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to count the amount of pages you have of level 99 vision cards done. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4.6. We'll call it 4.6 pages of UR vision cards done, and I feel you in my soul on the Ramza card and the Delita card not being finished. I also have those cards and they're also not done. Couple of months. We're going to get to finish them in a couple of months, and I bet you're looking forward to that just like me. Espers, here's a whole page of, max start out Espers. Here's a second page of max start out Espers. Here's a third page. Oh, we'll call it 2.8 pages of max start out Espers. You can do anything you want. Like, your Esper game is on point. You have the colorless trio, the Dark Odin, the Bahamut, and the regular Odin. Of course you do. You can build any team you want with the Espers you have. Nothing to really concern yourself with there. Gear. For the most part, I think your gear is on point, especially your weapons. You already have 2+6s, so you're keeping up with the +6 grind, or whatever you want to call it, that's coming out right now. So weapon-wise, you have a nice collection of +5s, obviously ready to rock there. When we get to the armor, I would say if there was maybe a slight weakness in the account, it would be armor, but not really. I mean, you have +5 raid gear farmed out. Like, I just didn't see like a +5 plat robe. There's just a couple +5 pieces of gear that you're kind of missing, like an Azure Dragon armor. You might even have the recipes to finish that stuff off, but if you're not currently playing a piercing unit, the Azure Dragon armor is not going to do you any good anyway. But for the most part, I would say like gear, if the rest of your account is totally ready to go minus a few units here and there, maybe your armor is just a little bit behind. Accessories. So you have the Soul, Alexandrite Ring at +4, get this thing to +5 if you're ever going to play accuracy stuff for when the +6 of it comes out. It's a big deal at +6, but you got the Spectacles, the Defense Bracer, you got the Bangle, a lot of +5 accessories. Elf Cloak at +5 is really good, but it's almost just as good at +0 or +3 as well. 3 stars. I really like 3 stars for some of the PvE content that we get, especially with guild raids coming back out. Jack Frostall at +5 is one of the best pieces of gear in this game right now. Working on those Hermes sandals. I see you. Hermes sandals sitting at +2. That's further along than mine. The Promptu's wristband you can keep working on. Okay, now we get to Trust Stones. So, I see what you were saying. Your Trust Stones, you have built some Trust Stones, and you have equipped some Trust Stones, but they're clearly all over the place. So here's what I'll say. I think you're doing one thing correctly, and that's if you are new to Trust Stones, the first thing you want to go for is set bonuses. So like, if we look here, you could, by the way, you get the same set bonus whether they're UR Trust Stones or they're the green Trust Stones. So you've clearly leaned into that, right? You're equipping some greens, you're equipping some pinks. So like, if we look through these pages here, you're just going to keep seeing that. Greens and pinks just kind of mixed in, not haphazardly or like, willy-nilly is the word I was going to use, but I decided that word was lame and then I called myself out for it. Anyway, now, when you mentioned you didn't know which ones to invest in or like what to focus on, I did release a video where I talk about my favorite ones. You obviously have a really good start here, and you have built some like HP stones. I see an evasion stone, I think that is. You got the accuracy boys, the agility boys. So okay, here's what I would do if I was you. Clearly you are willing to farm. I would focus right now on farming some Trust Stone rooms on double drop days, and then go for generic, really strong sets of UR Trust Stones. HP sets for your non-accuracy and non-evasion units, luck sets for your accuracy units, and evasion set if you want to run evade. And then if you switch to the offensive side, look for agility is just the easiest one to use. If you're ever confused about what right side trust zones you want to build up and equip, you just can't go wrong with agility. They're super OP. And if you want a little bit more of a detailed breakdown, again, check out the video I released about a week ago now on which trust zones I think are the best. Otherwise, I like what you did about just getting your set bonuses from the greens. Your next step, focus on those pinks. When you're leveling up those pinks, this is what you use your greens and blues for as leveling fodder. I trade my purples up to pink. So like you're going to farm, you're getting a lot of purple drops. I trade those up to pinks. You have like that monthly limit you can do for each letter there. And then you just forge a ton of greens and blues and you consume those to buff the sub abilities on your trust stones. So that's what I would focus on. I would go agility, and if you want to run an accuracy set of gear, you can also get the accuracy set for the right side. But agility is easy to use. Everybody wants agility, and if you're ever confused, I would go that route. Still, good start. You're definitely ahead of most people just by having trust stones equipped. So many people don't even bother with it because it's such a... it's a pretty deep system, and it's a pretty deep system on top of an already deep game, and that is daunting for newer or like players who aren't as hardcore. But your account is definitely to the point site where like this is the next step for you is like, let's say 4 really good sets of trust stones. I say 4 because here's what I do. I have a set for my tanks. I'm almost always running a tank, and I have it equipped on Joom's TMR like what you're doing here. So I always have that set ready to go. Whatever tank I'm running, I just slap that on them most of the time. Then I have a set, I have an accuracy set ready to go. I run that a lot of times on Bells or on Zombie Ryryu's TMR. Then I just have agility sets for that I run on like Bells, or I run on Starlight Elenis TMR, something like that. I have 2 really generically good sets of trust stones that I could use on my mages or my physical attackers or my support units. If I'm running somebody like a Bellis, just have him go faster. That's more haste, stuff like that. So I would go for 3 to 4 to start really good sets of UR trust stones, level them up, and yeah, there you go. I hope that's helpful. That's what I would do if I was you. That's how you can kind of take your power to that maximum level in War of the Visions. And thank you so much for supporting my channel. Guys, if you have any comments about the account, please leave them below in the comments section. And I will catch you all on stream tomorrow. Peace.